All right, so welcome to the Anchor Up Podcast, first one of 2022, the best year ever. And today we have the very, very fortunate opportunity to talk to Miss Kayla Dock out of Century 21. And I hope I say the name right, Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Look at that. Man, I read the dictionary and I got it right. That's awesome.
There you go.
So, what we're going to do today, Miss Broad, we're just going to talk about you. I just really would like the crowd to know about you, why you got into real estate, how long you've been doing it, and just tell us a little bit about your business and what your plans are for the upcoming year, and just whatever you'd like to share. So let's just kind of start off with tell us about you.
Yeah, so Matthew, thank you for having me this morning. I'm a retired Navy veteran, 20 years. My husband and I both served in the military. Our last duty station was in Florida, and we moved up here because he's actually from Wisconsin. And we've been here about 6 years, and I'm just trying to do a new career. I've been doing real estate now for about 8 months. Haven't quite did a full year yet. So it's been a new adventure for me. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to help veterans. And I'm just excited to see how the year is going to play out. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said you did 20 years in the Navy. What
yes.
was your rating? Because I'm a 20-year Navy veteran myself.
Right. So, my 20-year career kind of started in El Centro, California. I was a mechanic for
Okay.
quite a few years. Halfway through my career, I actually switched over to a cryptologist. So I did that for pretty much the rest of my career, and then I ended up in Spain doing an intel, flying on EP3s, and I met my husband overseas. We came back over here, started a family, and that's pretty much it. So
That's
what did
awesome.
you do? What did you do in the Navy?
So I started my Navy career as a CB. I was an EO, so I did construction. I got to break stuff for a living
Right.
as a young sailor, which my mom would have never let me do. So I loved that job.
Okay.
But then about 5 years in, I went to recruiting duty and
Wow.
got to help a whole bunch of people enlist in the Navy. And you see a lot of kids that in some cases they needed it to be able to help give them a good future, and we get those letters back from the young men and women going to boot camp and how much they appreciate it. So long story short, I finished my career as a recruiter for the last, I don't know, 15 and a half years I was in.
Where did you recruit out of?
So I recruited starting in New Orleans, Louisiana. Then I went to the recruiting district in Dallas. Then I got to go to Miami. Then I came back to New Orleans, and I finished in Houston. So I never went north of the Mason Dixon
I
line.
was gonna say you just kind of stayed in the dirty
Yeah,
south.
I got lucky, man. I was a South Coast recruiter.
There you go.
I didn't go East or West Coast, so it was good. But yeah, that's what I did, and same as you, I came into doing the podcast so that I could talk to veterans, or being in the industry for real estate now, talking to real estate agents or mortgage providers, home inspectors, people that I know that are out there to help veterans because they prepare us really well to do our job and be good at being sailors or airmen or soldiers or Marines. But when it's time to get out,
Yep.
how do I buy a home? Can I buy a home? Uh, how do I do a resume? Just different things like that. So
Right.
it's just a platform to help people like you let everybody know what you can do for them in your area, and then just hopefully people can get the help they need by coming to you. That's basically the goal for what we're doing.
That's awesome. I really appreciate it because starting in this new career field, being here in Sheboygan, we don't have a huge influx of retired military or active duty military. Um, there's some, let's see, over Fort McCoy, there might be something out there, but that's quite a bit away from me.
Mhm.
So it's really hard. I'm just trying to find my people, and trying to
Yeah.
have them know that I'm here, for them. Buying a house when I was active duty military, I had no idea on this side of it what it takes to buy a home. So I think it's a really good thing that you and I and other people like us are trying to reach out and show people how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that uh, a lot of people like yourself get into their communities, right? And you're like, I'm looking for my people, right? I'm
Right.
looking for the people that are just like me that I can help, that we can talk about with benefits.
Hmm.
So, in all of the stuff that I'm involved in, from the real estate industry. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to teach agents. We're trying to teach consumers. We're trying to teach people how to use this benefit. And the one thing that we found, I don't know if you've tried it or I don't know if you've thought of it. Have you thought about going to a local VFW, going to an American Legion, kind of walking in the doors there, not necessarily to be a member, but
Right.
going in to say, hey, do you guys have anyone that talks to your members about how to use a VA loan? Do they
Right.
even know if they're eligible, right?
Right.
Um, and you've already taken our class, right?
I haven't taken your class,
Okay.
but I would love. Wait, well, maybe I have. I'm not sure. I'm trying
Maybe.
to think of. I might have. I've taken a couple of classes, but I can't
Yeah.
remember.
So the biggest thing for us that we like people to know is in that younger era of and we say younger meaning way in the past, right? That the older generation, but the younger era of the VA loan, people from the Vietnam era, the Korean War era, people from that first Gulf War era, right? A lot of them think, oh, I bought one house,
Right.
right? I can never use it again.
And that's not true.
It's not true.
It's not
A
true.
lot of people are like, I own a house. I can never buy another one again. Like, okay, well, that's not true either.
Yeah.
So we find that in a lot of, like, again, VFWs, American Legions, where a lot of your older crowd of military veterans kind of gather, we're teaching a whole bunch of them that they can actually use their benefit. And a lot of them, sometimes they're living in apartments or they're living in like assisted living kind of things, right?
Hmm.
They're getting 100% disability. They're not going to pay property taxes in most states.
Right.
Um, they also get Social Security. I mean, we help veterans that only get disability and Social Security, and that is it. Purchase $250,000, $300,000 homes on the regular, but they just don't know they can do it. They have no idea, and so it's part of what this is about. Let's just help them. So
Absolutely.
being where you guys are at now,
Mhm.
you've been doing real estate for 8 months. Tell me why real estate after retirement.
So it's kind of funny. During the pandemic, I'm sure, like a lot of other people, you start to question what's your purpose in life. At least I did. And I was kind of doing the stay-at-home mom for about 10 years, and that was cool. But my kids are old enough now that they can be at school all day, and I just started getting a little bored. Really didn't feel like writing out a resume. I mean, trying to explain, being retired for 10 years is kind of weird in the civilian sector. So I was like, real estate might be something I can do. I've always had a real good ability to talk to people, to communicate, and just help people. And I think this this job just fit me good.
Yeah.
And I enjoy
Well,
it.
being in the career field that you ended your Navy career on, I hope that you're a good communicator, right?
Absolutely.
Because being in the crypto and the intelligence community, like that's like the first bullet on the resume. Can you communicate clearly and
Right.
let me know what's going on? So
Right.
that it does translate. It is a very transferable skill. And so when you retired, chief, senior chief, master chief,
I actually retired as a first class.
first class. Okay, so
But
you were in the upper echelon. Either way, even as a first class, you're in that upper echelon leading sailors, right? So a lot of people, no matter where they retired at, if you did a full career, you've led a lot of people,
absolutely.
which means you know how to communicate and interact with people so that you can understand what they're looking for, know what their needs are. So it's a very transferable skill for everybody in the military.
Mhm.
And I don't know, do you have a lot of veterans that work in your brokerage there, or have you met a lot of veteran real estate agents?
Um, in this area, like I said, there's not a whole lot of military here. I've met one gentleman. He's at a different brokerage. I don't think he retired. I think he did a few years. I don't believe he retired. There's no veterans in my office.
Okay.
There's one lady. She's my trainer, and she has her MRP, which is the Military Relocation Professional in the
Yep.
fall, which I just got.
Oh,
And it's all,
congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It's all nice and shiny and new. I'm getting ready, hopefully, to use it. But she gets a lot of business from veterans, and
For
I'm
sure.
hoping, yeah. So I'm hoping
I
that that'll come my way too.
Yeah, the biggest thing you can do when you get that is make sure that you join like their networked Facebook
I
page,
did.
right? Yeah, because uh, back in the day when I was a realtor, right? I'm MRP certified as well.
Okay.
and I didn't check it every day. Like I'm fortunate. I live in Houston,
Right.
super big.
Right.
There's a lot of veterans. So word of mouth and going. So I got a lot of referral business even today. Like you get a lot of referrals for people that want help. And so I didn't exactly check that all the time. But what's
Right.
crazy is now that I help real estate agents a lot
Hmm.
and I'm in that network, let's say I see somebody's looking for someone just in the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
I'm just going to go into Facebook and go at Kelly Brock. That's your girl. I mean, that's all we're going to do. Send it out so that people know that you're there, so that they know that you're available, so
Yeah.
they know that you can you can help the person in Wisconsin. Like
Absolutely.
that's the drive for me. And so I try to outside of that now as an I help real estate agents. I'm sending off information for more referrals than I did when I was a realtor. Like looking at, I'm horrible. It's horrible at looking at it every day. It was really hard to do, and so getting into that Facebook page is a good thing. Uh, I don't know. Start your own network within your area. Just create a page, like a veteran information page, maybe,
Okay.
and start to post stuff out there, and people in your area will see it. And if you know that other gentleman in another brokerage that's a veteran, it's always good to invite people to it. But any way that you can get it out there, I think that you'll find that there's a lot more veterans in your community than
Right.
you know.
Oh,
They're there,
I bet. Yeah. I was, I
but
was
I
gonna
mean,
start. I was gonna start going to the bars.
yeah.
you know,
Hey,
that's usually
that's where we hang out.
that's where we hang.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, being a new realtor, I don't know. Do they have a women's council of realtors up in your area?
Not that I know of. Not that I know
Yeah,
of.
like in your local MLS, they may have one. That's something that you could look up. If they don't have one, it might be, how us Navy people are, right? We like to start stuff that works, right? First
Right.
class associations, chiefs messes, things
Yes.
like that.
Absolutely.
That's what that Women's Council of Realtors can be, a group of women together to push forward and help clients and get educated. If there's one, join it. If there's not, start it. Right?
Okay.
It's a good initiative to do. Anything that you can do and get those like-minded people together. Like we down here in Texas go to in Brazos County, which is by Texas A&M.
Hmm.
They do a luncheon at an American Legion every 6 months. So we'll go to that luncheon, set up a table, and talk and help people that are there because they're there at the American Legion supporting veterans. They do breakfasts every week and things like that. So
Okay.
there's a VFW everywhere,
Yes, there is. There absolutely
everywhere.
is. The last time I went to one though, we had an event there with realtors. There weren't any veterans in there, so maybe I'll go back over there and check it out.
Yeah, and I would even do something like what is their general assembly meeting day, right? Sometimes VFWs will have two a month, they'll have one a month, but they'll meet the third Wednesday, whatever, of every month,
Right.
and it's from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then a lot of times in those meetings, they allow people to come in and talk.
Okay.
You may have to pay them a couple $100 to sponsor the meeting or something.
Okay.
It's always a write off, right? It's a write off on taxes to be able to get your name out there, but you can go in and just give them a conversation, 15 minutes, right? Do the elevator pitch. This is me. This is what I do. This is who I want to help. I
Okay.
bet there's a whole bunch of you sitting in here right now that could use a VA loan and you don't even know it.
Yep.
You need to come talk to me after. You'd be surprised at how many people are going to come to you, number one, and say, "You're wrong." You're like, I am. That's
Hmm.
great. Tell me how I'm wrong, right? And when you start the conversation, like, well, tell me what I missed. The very fact they give you that you missed, you'd be like, well, as of 2020, it changed. This is the new one. Because
Right.
this all changed
It did. It
in the
absolutely
height of
did.
the pandemic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we were already horrible, like, at getting information to each other before the pandemic, right?
Right.
And now this thing changes in the height of it, and not a lot of people know. I'm not sure if you're aware as a realtor, but the county loan limit went up this year as well, too.
I heard that. I heard that.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I
There
got it
was
written down right here. We were talking about it yesterday.
right. There was a lot of new changes. I was really surprised. Look, when I bought my house, there was a lot of things. I mean, obviously, this is the thing. When you're in the military, a lot of times you have access to people to do things for you, right? We get lazy. We're just like, we know we can go to this department, they can help us.
Yep.
Being out here, you don't have that support. There's no Navy base right here. There's no base right here. So it gets a little scary, especially when it comes to like, okay, now I need to find some place to go to my medical appointments or whatever. Um, so it's very comforting when you can reach out to somebody and you have that access and somebody knows what's going on.
Sure.
But yeah, there's been a lot of different changes to that VA loan for sure that people
Oh
have
yeah,
to.
for sure. I mean, and they've all been to the better, and that's the part of, I think, what you're going to be able to do for your community up there is to share that information,
Right.
right? Post it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. I don't use Twitter as much, but if you have that, post it on Twitter. Put it into Reels, make Facebook Live videos about it. Like anything you can do to create content behind that,
Okay.
someone's going to see it.
Okay.
And then monitor the real estate referral network there in MRP, and you may pick up people. You know, you're also going to be able to send referrals probably out on that. So you're
Absolutely.
building another, to your point just now, it's a community of people
Right.
that are there for you. Like, oh, I don't know this answer. Let me go ask the group. You ask, you get an answer. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how do you currently right now where you're at, how's business going for you now? And what kind of things are you seeing up there in Wisconsin as far as how the market goes? Like at this time in January the 6th, brand new 2022, what can buyers in your area or sellers expect from how the market's starting to move where you guys are at?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, being in a state that we have good hard winters, right now it's slow. Especially for me, I'm new. I'm still trying to trying to build up my clientele. Maybe for more of the veteran realtors, they still have some, residual business going. But it's still a great time to buy a house, because you don't have that much competition. If you're willing to get out here in the cold and go looking for a house, you will find one, and we will help you find one. I will help you find one. But it is slow right now because of the new year, the holidays, it's cold. But you don't want to be in the pack once it starts going in. Springtime, forget about it. Then it's going to be, we don't have a crystal ball, but we're hearing on the street that the interest rates are going to start going up a little bit. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's going to happen on both sides. If you're going to sell your house, you're going to have to buy a house. Your interest rate's going to go up. Um,
Sure.
that's something to think about. People aren't putting $50,000 over asking price anymore. That's not happening. That ship has sailed. So
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
it's great to hear that it's the same as is in Wisconsin, as is Virginia, as is Texas, as is Arizona, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, I think it's very interesting, though, the differences. The difference that I hear you say up there is if you're willing to go in the cold, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to find a
You're
house.
gonna find it.
I mean, let's go.
Let's go.
All you got to do is put a jacket on. And here's the
Right.
deal, you're going to live here anyway. So
That's
you might
right.
as well get used to walking around in the cold because you're going to have to do it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
I mean, it makes sense.
it absolutely makes
Uh,
sense. And people are moving here from California. There's people moving up here from Florida. All the warm states. A lot of people are moving up here to Wisconsin. I mean, you've got a bigger bang for your buck here. You can get more land. I mean, if you're going in California, you get a postage stamp house on a little piece of land for a lot of money, where you can get a lot more land, a bigger house for a lot less money. The taxes are lower
yep.
here.
Oh, yeah.
We can move and breathe here. We're not doing all this craziness, restrictions. I mean, there's some places that are a little bit, still more mask mandates and stuff like that, but that's not going to change. I think people are ready to go buy. There are people ready to sell. They just want serious buyers. Um,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, everybody wants a serious buyer, but I
right,
think what's going to happen in the future, and I don't know, you tell me what you think, because I'm defaulting to you
right,
as the expert on this one. But what I see happening, just being in Houston and in a big market of where we're at, and seeing a lot of real estate agents there, and then knowing a lot of real estate agents in my hometown of Louisiana, right, in New Orleans. That one also moves pretty quick. It's a pretty good real estate market there as far as like volume and pushing. What I've seen is a lot of agents, real estate agents, the professionals in the industry, the people that are helping these clients make these high dollar decisions
right,
have gotten spoiled with $50,000 over ask price, offer
right.
in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The houses doesn't matter if it appraises.
Right,
You're gonna get the world and back. So I think that the agent, just like you just explained yourself, saying this is how it's changing,
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting this. I can already tell that you have that conversation with the client. And it's
Absolutely.
good to know because all those sellers out there in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, that
Mm-hmm.
were thinking about selling 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm. They got to get
you're
on
not
that.
going to put your house on the market and get that crazy amount that your best friend told you he got.
Absolutely,
Um,
and this is another point too. We go through a lot of houses. Uh, you know, now having you're literally looking into the soul of somebody's home when you go in there. Okay,
mhm.
if you're leaving dishes out, you're leaving your house smelling nasty and everything like that. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're not going to get top dollar. It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. You need to put out a good product. I mean, just like if you're going to look for a house, you're not going to want to buy a house that's all nasty because all you're thinking about is all the junk they had laying around. So,
Yeah.
the best way to sell your house fast for top dollars, make sure you declutter, make sure you clean it, make sure it smells clean, and then you price it right. Don't price it $50,000 above what you feel it's going to be. It needs to be a fair market price because if your house is sitting there really for more than a week or so, buyers are going to be, why is this house still sitting here? What's wrong with it? And then they start seeing the price reductions.
Yeah.
So you need to price it right, and you need to have it clean and decluttered and ready to go when it goes on the
Yeah,
market.
that's very true. And I think what happens too is just think about it this way. As an agent, if it was me and I seen that house that's sitting there and it's sitting there and it's sitting there, right, and it hasn't gotten any offers,
Hmm.
as an agent, right or wrong, you're going to go, oh, that agent overpriced this house because they were hoping for the market of 6 months ago. And
Right.
just by nature, that's going to be told to clients as well. So now anytime a client and I think that's going to be a bad and a good on both sides because what's going to happen now is a whole bunch of people that are looking to buy houses are going to be like, "Oh, you guys real estate agents you're just overpricing the house."
Hmm.
They just default to everything's overpriced. And I wish more agents realize that that stigma and that wrong perspective on how a real estate profession runs, it
Hmm.
really starts from agents.
Right.
It's not starting from the client. It's kind of like if you have a client that's looking to do a VA loan and they make an offer and another person puts in a conventional offer, there's real estate agents out there that tell people, oh, you want to go with the conventional offer, it's a safer bet. I'm like, it
Sometimes
is.
they do that. I think there was
Yeah.
a stigma about that, about VA loans being
Well,
cheap.
what have you heard on why somebody said that in the past?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to do a VA loan. When we bought our house here in 2014, um, I probably, honestly, we had a VA loan. I think the only reason why they picked our loan or picked us is because we were the only ones that put an offer in. The
Mm-hmm.
house, it needed a little bit of fixing up. And my husband and I are both talented enough to fix stuff up. So we look
Yep.
past all the stuff and the smell and all that. But not everybody can do that. And I
Yeah.
honestly think the
Well,
sellers,
that's that military mindset
yeah,
to
right.
let you look past that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we're like we're gonna fix this. It's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, we live right by Lake Michigan, so we're
Yeah.
like,
I guarantee probably one of the first things you guys said is up. We lived in worse.
oh yeah, oh, definitely, absolutely. We're like, this is
Yeah,
nothing. So we,
for
you know, we
sure.
we offered them, I think, a little bit less than what they were asking, just because we were like, a lot of things need to be fixed up in here. But yeah, I think the only reason why they picked our offer is because we, there was nobody else. There was no other offers. There was no competition. It wasn't the
Sure.
market like it is now. If it would have been a conventional loan, they probably would have jumped at that.
Yeah, well, I think another reason we teach so many agents is we want people to understand two key things, and they both revolve around the same thing. If you have two offers on the table, they're both full price asking offers. I'm going to give you this scenario, and you're the listing agent. I want you to tell me which one you would take and which one you think is like the most competitive, right?
Okay.
So, two offers on the table, both offers full asking,
Hmm.
both offers not asking for a home warranty, both offers giving 1% earnest money, and both offers giving 7 days of option period for whatever fee you guys would do in Wisconsin. And the last part is offer A is putting down $30,000 and offer B is putting down $0. Which one's more competitive?
Uh, what are the contingencies?
I just gave you the whole scenario of it.
Oh, there's inspection contingencies.
Well, there's an inspection contingency with any offer you submit on real estate because you have the right to do the inspection, and every state is different. Like in Texas, we get X amount of days. Some places it's more, but you're always going to have an inspection contingency. You
Right.
can waive that if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't advise a client to waive it unless it's like a year old house and maybe the person's in the industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something I would never do. I would never, tell somebody to waive an inspection contingency
So
fee.
let's say there's no both are going to do inspections.
Hmm.
And it's just a normal offer that you would see in Wisconsin. Like all the parameters are normal, because I'm not familiar with how you guys do it up there, but it's pretty normal. Which one would you say is the most competitive?
Well, obviously, if somebody's putting down 30 grand for a down payment, that's always nice,
Mm-hmm.
But if that's, a VA loan, you don't have to do that. So with the down
Correct.
payment.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's going to be up to the buyer or the seller, excuse me, which one they want to pick. But I would say a more competitive one would be the $30,000. Um, Somebody answer the phone. 2221 front desk. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're
Um,
fine.
I would say the $30,000 offer is definitely more competitive in my mind.
And I think everybody says that, but in that scenario, the $30,000 offer that they're putting money down is a conventional offer, right? They're putting down, let's say it's 5% because that's the minimum percentage they have to put down, right? The zero down offer is the VA offer,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the veteran's got $100,000 in the bank,
Exactly.
right? Like the thing is, we don't know that. What I want agents to understand is like, if you went to buy a car today and dealership A said, you can buy whatever your dream car is,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to put $25,000 down. And dealership B goes, I don't know why they told you that. You can buy it zero down. Which dealership are you going to?
Oh, the zero down.
Yeah, right? So it's kind of the same deal on a real estate offer.
Right.
The way that I look at it, if this person does not have to put any money down as a down payment
Mm-hmm.
and all they need is closing costs,
Right.
how much funds do I have to verify right before closing?
That's what I'm saying. I would definitely go with the VA loan, but trying to explain it to, I hate to say that, like civilians, explaining that
Sure.
this
No,
loan
you're right. You're 100% right.
this
Yeah,
loan
yeah,
is,
yeah.
what I mean? Like this loan
Yeah.
is different because of this. I mean, you can't compare that, because conventional loan has this, this, and this. The people have to put a lot of money down. With the VA loan, you don't have to do all of that, so it's hard to explain
Yep.
because people, I don't think, unless they've been in the military, they don't understand the concept. You're not putting any money down. What does that mean? But for me,
Yeah, it's really funny that in a real estate transaction, if you put no money down, you're broke. But
right,
if you get a car for zero money down, you're smart. Right? Like, I don't understand that part. So,
right,
one thing that we look at is a lot of times the listing agent just has no clue, right? And this is what we see. The listing agent works in a brokerage. They've been doing real estate for 2 or 3 years, and they're experienced, and their broker's been in the business for 40 years. So he's ultra experienced. But the moment they walk in the door, all they hear is VA loans are difficult and they're not easy and they're hard to do. And like everything about it becomes an instant roadblock barrier. But you
right,
never hear them tell the agent FHA loans are difficult. FHA loans have roadblocks. They're also a government loan. They're both the same. The difference is the VA is backing the veteran, whereas the government is backing the consumer on an FHA, but the FHA still requires a down payment, right?
right.
A lot of people think the inspection contingency that you brought up.
Hmm.
If I do an inspection on this home and the inspector finds anything, the real estate agent is telling the seller, you have to fix everything on that inspection. So this VA loan, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to be difficult. You're going to have to pay
It's
more.
negotiable,
You know,
right?
I think the two biggest things that you always hear. Okay, if you do a VA loan, you got to make sure there's a handrail for every, 3 steps. There's got to be, you got to make sure all the chipped paint is, whatever. Those are the two biggest things that, and there's a lot of old houses here with chipped paint. I mean, we've got houses that are over 150 years old here,
Sure.
and you're going to have chipped paint. I wouldn't recommend buying a house that old, but there's people that do. Um,
Yeah.
or
Well,
historical homes, but that's always the biggest thing that people complain about. Oh, they're going to complain about this, and they're going to want. But the thing is, the reason why we get that type of loan is to protect the veteran, you know,
yep.
and so they're not going to want to put you in a house that's not going to be safe for a veteran,
Hmm.
you
And
know.
that's the key word there is safe. And the
Right.
thing I like to ask agents on that, so what we do is I make phone calls pre-offer for the agents I work with and say, hey, this is the situation on our person. This is all the stuff we've done. It's a VA loan. Hit me with your questions. Hit me with your concerns. I just want you to know how qualified the person is, right?
Yes.
So what happens most times is we get that, oh, well, there's going to be a whole bunch of problems in this inspection. The seller's going to have to fix a whole bunch of stuff. So then my next question is, okay, let's say the paint needs to be replaced on the siding in the state where the weather conditions are very, very adverse, meaning weather conditions deteriorate homes, which mean you can have a problem with insulation and heating and, the walls could fall. There's a lot of, it's not Texas. Texas, rains, but snow and wind and the four seasons, like that does a number on siding.
Absolutely.
If you were going to buy a house as a real estate agent and the siding needed to be painted so that it could be protected, you're telling me as the real estate agent that has the listing that you're not going to ask to have that done on a conventional loan or an FHA loan? And the agents are always like, oh, yeah, I would. So I don't understand why, if the VA says that the owner needs to make sure this thing, as the client moves into it, is put together so that it's safe for them, you have a problem with that. Handrails on the steps, like it's a safety thing. There's ice. There's no handrail. You walk outside to go to your car, you break your back, you can't go to work. The veteran is like, I really think that the VA protecting veterans like that is something that should be in every loan. Like you should say that the safety stuff should be good, but they've gotten used to that not being the case. And
Exactly.
so what happens is after we talk to them for a couple minutes, and we also let them know, like, if there's a super huge safety issue in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
An appraiser's only going to point out the safety items that need to be taken care of. They're not going through there and turning the washer and the dryer on and running it like the home inspector does and all that stuff. They're going in to see that, like, okay, I'm in the house. It's winter time and the house is 70 degrees. The heater works, right? If it's summertime and it's 100 degrees outside, okay, it's cool in here. Like they're going to make sure that the house is available for someone to move in. The sink is in there and the water turns on. The dishwasher at least turns on. The stove does turn on. Like those things need to be ready for someone to use it. And we'll explain that to the listing agent. And we've had we're 50-50. Sometimes they're like, oh, I didn't know that. We're like, our offer, I'm not going to brag, it's probably the most competitive offer you have because we don't have to put money down.
Mm-hmm.
I only had to verify closing costs, but
Right.
all your other conventional offers, it's $600,000. What's 5% of that? That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to put down.
And if they lose a job, right? Like there's just a whole bunch of different things. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why we call ahead of time.
Right.
And that allows us to have the conversation with the agent. But the other thing it does is it let them know that on our end of the transaction, we're here to go through the whole step with them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep them informed. We're going to let them know what's going on. It goes a long way. And so we do 90% of what we do is VA loans
Mm-hmm.
as a team, and so we don't run into a lot of, you just can't do it. Now there's places where inventory is a challenge, right? Like
Yeah,
some
I've been.
states it's a challenge.
Yeah,
Florida, from what I hear, inventory is a challenge.
it
So many
is.
people want to move there, right? Because of weather,
Oh yeah.
there's a challenge there. But
Right. Right.
it it's just differences. Yeah, they say that, but it's always the question of, so you wouldn't want to move in a safe house as well? Like that's not something that's
No.
important to you. So I wish more people would look at it the way that you did, of going, we're just protecting the person.
Right. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then and it's gonna go nice and smooth too because I just think VA loans are super clean. Um, Up front as far as the whole process.
Yeah.
But we have an inventory issue up here too. You see a few things going up here and there, but you know, again, this area right here doesn't have a huge influx like it may have, closer to a base or where you're at where it's nice and warm. Um, People pretty much live here and die here. I'm not even kidding. So it's a challenge. It really is. And any real estate agent, it's a contact sport. And the more contacts you have, you win.
Yep.
I'm not from here. I don't have any family here. I have a lot of challenges for me. Um, but I'm getting through that because I can talk to people. I can talk to a dead tree, and honestly, I really can. So just getting out, me right now talking to you, this is huge for me. I mean, this is my first time doing a podcast. I'm so proud to do this. This is awesome. I'm gonna show my broker
Oh
this.
yeah, no, it's an honor for sure. Like,
Yeah.
this is just part of, like I said, part of my whole drive for what I do, coming from the military, coming from the Navy, right? Is the thing that we learned when you get into that upper level, first class and above, you're now in management, right? You're no longer doing the job, right? Like, you're the one that needs to make sure things happen. And so we learn from that point, it's no longer about you.
Right.
You don't matter no more.
Right.
You will be taken care of if everybody else is successful and the job gets done and the mission gets accomplished.
Right.
Like, the accolades of your people speak volumes about what you're doing.
Yes.
And so for me, it's just carrying that into the civilian life, right? Of like, okay, well, who can I talk to that really wants to help veterans?
Right.
Let's Wisconsin.
Right.
My dad's from Wisconsin, right? I know that he grew up there. He lived in Racine, Wisconsin.
Okay. That's south of me.
But in the same point,
Yes.
there's not a lot of military there either. Like, he just
No.
joined the military there. He didn't move back, right? He
Right.
lives in Texas. So I mean, when we look at being able to help veterans out there, there's so many programs that they can use. And we're really good at telling them, it's crazy. This is how you can get your disability rating to get paid money for disability. I mean, to a science.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, go see this person, tell them these things. They know exactly how the process works. So tell them what you've had in your career, bring your records with you, and it's down. Boom. They have that
They have
in
it.
line.
Right.
But now this veteran is getting out, and let's say they lived in Spain like you were stationed, and let's say that you were transitioning to Wisconsin because you got a job in Wisconsin from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't even know where I'm going to live.
Yep.
How much does it cost to do house hunting from Spain to Wisconsin?
Yep.
Like, it's expensive. And in some cases, the entire family can't go, right? Like,
Right.
one person's going to go check it out
Mm-hmm.
in whatever case. And so being able to talk with people like you and just know that we have veterans out there trying to help each other is the most important part, because they think that, the old school rules, things like this. I'm separating or retiring, and I was in intelligence. Okay. And I had always had a dream of being a chef, let's say, right? And let's say a hotel is going to hire me to be a chef. I was in intelligence. I'm getting out of the Navy after 20 years, and I'm going to go be a chef. Two different career fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get a loan?
Oh, absolutely.
We can do it. There's a lot of places that can't do it,
Yes.
though,
Yes.
because it's two different career fields.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just that thing of educating. Some places are like, okay, the veteran's going from employment to employment. All good. We're not concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to be a CTR
Mm-hmm.
in the civilian world,
Right.
right? Like, you could do an IT job, it'd be kind of close, but I don't know unless you go to DC where you're going to get a crypto job
Right.
as a civilian. Like, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in the same arena. And so there's a lot of times where that kind of holds people up, breaks in employment. There's a lot of veterans that get out of the military and go to school, right? So if you get out, you go to school for a year, get your degree, and start working, we can still do it.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to hold that year of schooling against them, especially if the school and degree you get ultimately winds up being the career field that you go into, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
bettering yourself. So there's different rules. Like, we say it in our class. If there's 10,000 lenders in a room, there's 10,000 ways to qualify you for a home, because
Absolutely.
everybody has different overlays and requirements. And our team is just, I mean, we're all veteran anyway. The entire team that I work with, all veterans, every one of us.
I love it, man.
Yeah. So our company is very supportive of veterans. They want to make sure that we're able to do these, and our biggest motto that we run by is we look for every reason to say yes and not no. Like, we want to make it happen. If we tell you no, it's a not right now. It's not a no. It's a this is when you can do it. And so that's just the way that we lead from it. And we get to work with a lot of real estate agents such as yourself that
Amazing.
has the same drive for success, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
that's the good piece to it. So 2022 for you,
Yeah.
what does the business plan look like for you? What kind of things are you going to be involved in? Is there any kind of, like, I don't know, community things that you're starting up? Is there any organizations that you're going to partner with? Is there anything that you can tell everybody in your community about what you're going to be doing in 2022 that they
Yeah.
can look out for?
Well, in 2022, we're going to be holding the state tournament for Legion Baseball for the youth here, and we're going to have a. It's going to be huge. It's going to be here in Sheboygan, and so we're trying to raise quite a bit of money so we can have a really nice event for these youngsters. And so I'm going to be involved in that. I'm helping raise the money and awareness that we're going to be having that here. So that's going to be huge for me. Just getting out in the community. I'm definitely going to be taking your tips. I'm going to go into the VFWs and go check out my people, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be fun. I'm very excited. I'm hoping that it's my first year will be in April. And I'm hoping that things will start kicking off here for me pretty soon. So, the
Yeah,
longer
I
on, the
think
easier
that
it is, I guess.
you got one positive thing working for you.
What's that?
You were a sailor. And and being a sailor, a soldier, a marine, or an airman, you know what two words we never are allowed to say?
What is that? I don't even know.
I quit.
Oh yeah, that's not happening.
Never. And so we are always going to find a way to make it work, and we're going to always find a way to get to the end result. And so that's why I say you have that working for you. You have that. You just, it's instilled in you. There is no quit, there is no give up, and there is no chance I'm not going to succeed. Are you
No,
kidding me?
no.
Like, it's going to happen. And
There's
so
more
I
there's more
think
than
just,
one way to skin a cat. That's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. And I would tell you, serving in the military, a lot of people still, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Virginia, California,
Yeah. Yeah.
Washington, Florida. Here's one thing that a lot of real estate agents don't do that is actually a pretty good uh, alternative to helping you make some money in real estate. Sailor whoever living in Virginia is transferring to San Diego. They're one of your really good friends. Why couldn't you partner them to a Century 21 agent in San Diego and get a referral fee?
Absolutely.
Tons of agents kind of miss that. They're like, "Oh yeah, my best friend just bought a house in Washington." You're like, "Oh yeah, who'd you refer him to?" "Oh, I didn't." Like, are you kidding? Like, they told you they were going to go buy a house. And let's look at it this way: if you work at Century 21, the culture of that company. You know the culture of what they live by. You
Right.
know the standard by which they work. So why would I not want to partner you with another agent in the family? Right? It's almost like I know you, and we've done a lot together, right? And we've moved forward from where we're at now. And I knew you were in the Navy,
Right.
and I got an opportunity to do something like, of course, I'm going to let the Navy veteran know the opportunities there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of course I'm going to send that information over there because I'm helping you. That's that military connection. And the one thing that I know is real estate kind of has the same deal, especially within the same brokerage family. There's a sense of togetherness there. So it's
Right.
just another good thing. Just stay in touch. That's what I used to do. I talked to all my friends all over the place. When are you leaving?
Yeah.
I could help you out. Like, it didn't help every time, but sometimes I was able to connect them. And it was just good because how many real estate agents not in Wisconsin? Did you know any agents since you've gotten out that you served with that are agents in other parts of the country?
I don't know any other agents that I serve with that are in the real estate game.
You would
One.
be
I take it back. One.
very,
One in
yeah.
Florida.
y-
Florida.
You would be surprised though if you started to, like, really kind of look into that.
Mm-hmm.
You might, and it may not be someone that you directly, like, you guys were on the smoke deck together, hanging out every day and eating in the galley together, but it could be someone that you knew of, that you've interacted with a few times. And the one thing that I have seen since I've gotten out, just because I knew you in the military, if I reached out to you and we're kind of both doing the same thing, I mean, it's like we never stepped off the ship. It's an
No.
instant connection. So I don't
Exactly.
have to know you 100% personally, but we did serve together in some capacity. And
Right.
so building a network like that can help you. And
Well,
it's
like
just any way.
I was gonna say I never served with you before, but I already got the connection. I mean, I'm just loving how you're
Yeah.
talking, the vernacular. It's just like, yes, another Navy person. I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, we're here to make it happen, and that's what we do. And that's why I do this. I'm not going to tell you that this isn't a 1 billion subscriber worthy podcast yet,
Yet,
but it will be one day. But the whole goal is not even to do that. I don't even care if 10 people listen to it. But if one of those 10 can call you and get help, the goal is achieved. It's all good. There's no alternative drive to that, right?
right?
I already know I'm not going to make money doing this. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. I'm not looking to do that yet. It's not the reason I do it. And I've just seen that with a lot of people that we connect with, just like you. I can tell right now, like you're not talking to me now because you think that there's going to be something in it for you. I love just talking to veterans.
Absolutely. I just love to
Yeah,
talk.
it's
I got
great.
the gift of gab. You know.
Yeah. So the baseball tournament that you're helping to sponsor, do you have kids that are going to play in that? Do you know?
Absolutely. My oldest,
Yeah.
yeah, Reese is going to be out there playing. He's been playing baseball for quite a few years now. He pitches. So I'm excited. I'm
Nice.
excited. He's a junior this year, so he's got this this upcoming spring, and then the summer ball, and then next year his senior year. So we're hoping
Nice.
that he'll be able to kill it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So does
So
he have aspirations to be a college baseball player?
he does. He's kind of going back and forth. He wants to do cybersecurity. So
I wonder where that came from.
I wonder. I might have had a couple of things, but I said, hey, just do what you love. He loves editing videos and stuff like that. So we're hoping that he's gonna, whatever he does, we're gonna support him. So I think he'll do great.
Oh, for sure. Well,
Yeah,
there's your 2022 real estate listing photographer and videographer right there.
that's right. Edit my videos.
Right? Yeah. My son's the same way. My son's graduating high school this year, and he
Oh
played
wow.
lacrosse for a long time.
Okay.
Opted not to do it this year, and now he stays in the gym. But like we said the same thing to him. Whatever you want to do, go for it. Right?
Yep.
Go for it full force, and
Yep.
don't go for it halfway, like all the way. And I'll be there for you the whole time. Like
Right.
it's good. But yeah, so that's a good deal. So that tournament you're talking about is like the state high school baseball tournament's going to be there.
It's basically kids from all over the state that's going to come here to Sheboygan to do the tournament. So they'll be playing. It's like travel ball. So they'll go here and
Okay.
there and they'll compete, and then it'll start to get down to the wire, and then the best of the best will come here to play it out. So
Okay. So almost like a state championship for select teams.
exactly, yes,
Okay.
and it's fun because you get to see those kids out there just showing out, man. They're just, whew, it's exciting. It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah.
So on here now, is there a link that you want to, or a website, or is there something people can go to today if they wanted to donate some money to the
Uh,
to the effort?
yeah, I don't have a website, but if
You
you
have an
want,
email.
I do have an email address. You can directly email me, and my email address is the letter K, the letter C, then DOCK at moves, MOVESRE.com.
Yep. And so that way, if they want to get involved, they can reach out. And that's the other part of why we do these things. Um, I mean, if you want to set up a link to do like a fundraiser,
Yes.
we're happy to help you do that.
Okay.
Like we'll get it moving. Like anything we can do to help young people in the community is always something that we pride ourselves in too, right? Like we want to make sure that those initiatives are taken on, and this is something that can grow for you into more than just being a realtor, more than just being a mom, right? You get to see all these boys
Oh my gosh, young men just winning.
succeed,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's super fun, man. It's super fun. I
Of
love it.
course, your team's going to win. We already know that.
I hope.
We already know that.
We'll see.
But yeah, so I mean, when we're done, we'll chat a little bit off of the line of it to
Okay.
to see what we can do to figure out how to build a fundraiser for it, and
Okay.
and what we can do to promote it, and what we can do to help you get it out there so that you can start raising now. Because the one thing I learned is if you wait, you'll get $50. You'll be like, oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were only up for 3 days, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
So we want to, you want to start to build their donations, whatever. I mean, anything that can happen, talk about marketing for it and reaching out to local businesses. And there's a lot of things that we're happy to help you do to kind of get,
Yeah.
towards that point.
Thank you so much. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
I really appreciate the love.
Yeah, well, I mean, our whole mantra, right, that we talk about on our team is veterans helping veterans, and that's what we
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And we have to have a hashtag in everything we do today, and our hashtag is veteran to veteran. That's what we do. It's it's what we did when we were in,
Yes.
and it's what we're going to continue to do when we're out. And it's just part of how it goes.
You got it.
Yeah. So let's just one more time as we end it out. You already gave an email, but let's give them what office you work in,
Yes.
a good number to contact you, and your email so that everybody has all the contact information that they would need.
Absolutely. So I'm here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I work at Century 21 Moves. And my email again is kcdoc at movesre.com. And my phone number here is 920-547-0771. Hit me up anytime. I will definitely get back to you immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're ready to sell your house, she's your lady.
If you're ready to sell your house, you're ready to go buy, you're ready to go for the hunt, let's go. Yes.
Absolutely. Anything that you're looking to do in real estate,
Yes.
you gotta reach out to Kayla. Make sure that you let her know that you're serious about buying a house, and she'll be serious about helping you out. And again, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
You
Uh,
too.
like you said, it's always great to talk to Navy veterans, Army
Absolutely.
veterans, veterans of any service. It's always good.
Yes.
I've
Anything.
been really lucky though.
Oh, yeah?
The vast majority of veterans, just by chance, that I've talked to on the podcast, were all from the Navy. So all the people I know are like, can't get nobody else on there. I'm like, you're welcome to come on to kind of like mix it up, but just I attract Navy people. I don't know what to tell you.
That's how we do.
Maybe it's the history.
That's what it is.
But yeah, so it was good. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. It'll be up soon, so just for everybody listening, you can learn more about Kayla and what we talked about today. We're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, we're hosted on Podbean. It'll be on YouTube, so you can share away. Let everybody know that now you're a famous podcaster and you're just on the ascension, and we'll just get it moving from there.
All right, cool.
All right. Thank you.